This year there have been 3 main Fairway wood launches and we've got all 3 here today. We're going to put them head to head and rank them in 4 different categories so that I can tell you guys which one is my favourite and which one I'm most likely to put in the bag this year. So those 3 Fairway woods that we have, we've got the Cobra Dark Speed X, the TaylorMade QI10 and the Callaway Paradigm AI Smoke. So let's start off by talking through each of these woods and a little bit of the technology behind them and what the brands are claiming that these can do. So starting off with the Cobra Dark Speed X. Now this is very similar to the driver that they put out. We've got a power bridge and power shell hot face technology, which is designed to give players fast ball speeds while keeping it easy to launch to give a balance of distance and forgiveness in this wood. Going on to the TaylorMade QI10, now there's not loads of new technology here. There's a lot of things that we've seen in previous TaylorMade woods, for example, the V-Steel and twist face technologies. However, the new thing that TaylorMade are focusing on are using different materials to save mass to be able to redistribute it for better MOI and forgiveness. So we find that in the new Infinity Carbon Crown, which helps save mass there. Continuing on with the theme of mass savings, we're seeing a lot of that in the Callaway Paradigm AI Smoke Fairway wood. So there's a total of 24 grams that's been repositioned in the head. 12 grams of that has been moved forward to help with launch and spin, and then 12 grams has been moved back to increase the forgiveness. Another thing that Callaway are making a massive point about with this new range is the AI Smart Face, where they've taken data from thousands of real golfers to see what their tendencies are, combine that with AI technology to come up with a smart face that has multiple sweet spots all over the face to supposedly help with forgiveness. So that's the boring bit done with. Now going on to how we tested these clubs. First of all, we tested them indoors over at Hooked so I could get the proper data on how far they were going, on how high they were launching, and all the bits of information that we wanted to see with that. We also took them out onto the golf course so I could test them out in real life conditions, both from the tee and on the fairway. We hit loads of shots with them so that I could come out with my favourites in each category. So the 4 categories that we're going to be looking at are looks and feel, forgiveness, distance, and value for money. So within those 4 categories, we're going to rank the woods as first, second, third. If it places first, it'll score 1 point. If it places third, it'll score 3 points. We're going to add the points up for each of the categories at the end, and whichever comes out with the lowest number of points will be the overall winner. Before we get into the data, if you haven't already, please make sure that you're subscribed to the Golfalot YouTube channel, and if you're enjoying this video, make sure to drop a like. So starting off with looks and feel, we'll go in reverse order here. So for me, my least favourite in terms of looks and also in terms of feel was the Callaway Paradigm AI Smoke. Both with the wood and the driver version of this, I feel as though the marbled carbon effect that we have on the base of the club is just very over the top and in your face. And for me, it's just a little bit too much. And then the problem is that when you turn it to address, you can still see this pattern on the top, which for me is just very distracting. Something else that we've got on the face are these little white lines, which again, it just feels like there's a lot going on. However, I do like the lines on the face to help as an alignment aid, so that is one of the features that I can accept it being there, despite the whole look just being a little bit too much and a bit messy. The only other thing with this that was a little bit strange was that at impact, there was a very strange noise, almost as if there was a piece of metal loose within the head, and for me, this was just a little bit off-putting when I was hitting the ball. In second place with the looks and feel, I'm going to put the TaylorMade QI10. Now for me, I quite like how simple this looks at address. However, I did feel as though it just looked a little bit thin in terms of the face height here, which didn't inspire loads of confidence. However, when I hit it out on the golf course, I really liked the feel of it. I struggled to get it going on the mat indoors initially, but out on the golf course, I really liked the feel of that club. And then for looks and feel, I definitely had an outright winner in this category, which was obviously the Cobra Dark Speed. Now, when we did the driver review for 2024, I put the Cobra Dark Speed driver as first for looks, and the 3-wood is essentially just a mini version of that driver with the exact same looks. So for me, I really like it. I think it's so different with the dark matte finish. I will say that when I put it at address, I did think it was a little bit small and I was almost apprehensive to hit it, but as soon as I got it going, I really loved the ball flight and the feel of it, so this was definitely my outright winner in this category. Going on to forgiveness, the way that I'm ranking this is a combination of the left to right dispersion numbers from the indoor testing at Hooked, but then also how I felt with that club in hand out on the golf course and just the feedback that I was getting when I knew I didn't quite strike the ball in the center. So starting off, the QI10 and the Cobra Dark Speed both had very similar left to right dispersion numbers from Hooked. However, I did feel as though out on the golf course I was able to control the Cobra better, whereas with the QI10 I was noticing that I was having some shots shooting off slightly to the left, just coming off a little bit hot, which I was struggling to control. So for that reason, I'm going to put the QI10 in third place and the Cobra in second. That obviously leaves the Callaway coming out in the top position. Now, when we looked at the numbers for left to right dispersion over at Hooked, the Callaway Paradigm AI Smoke was coming out with the best left to right dispersion. And then out on the golf course, I felt as though I could get away with a worse strike with the Callaway in hand. I didn't notice that it had a particular miss. I could see the ball going slightly off to the right, slightly off to the left, but nothing that would be a card ruiner, because I really felt as though no matter where you struck the ball on the face, you were still going to get away with it. So for me, that ranks the highest for forgiveness. Going on to distance, now despite performing very well in the forgiveness category, I did see a drop off in distance with the Callaway 3-wood compared to the other two models. The Callaway 3-wood was the slowest and had the lowest carry and total distances, with an average ball speed of 128 miles per hour, carrying 193 and totaling 214 yards. So carrying 193 yards for me is pretty low for a 3-wood, and comparatively the second place in distance was going 10 yards further on average with the carry. And that second place was the TaylorMade QI10, carrying 203 yards with an average total of 226. So for me, that is definitely more what I would be looking for with a 3-wood. Somewhere around 220 to 225 is a pretty solid distance for me. So then coming out in first place in the distance category was obviously the Cobra Dark Speed X. Now, what was really impressive with this was the ball speed coming out at 130 miles per hour, which to be honest is a number that I can see sometimes with drivers. So that was really coming out a lot faster than I would typically expect with a 3-wood. And that speed definitely transferred over into some distance, giving me an average carry of 205 yards and an average total of 230, with a couple of the shots going as far as 240 yards, which for me is a massive distance with a 3-wood, so I was really impressed to see that. When we start looking at value for money, that doesn't mean that just the cheapest club wins. However, in this case, the Cobra Dark Speed is significantly less expensive than the others, coming in at an RRP of £279. Now, bearing in mind that so far in all of the looks, feel and performance categories, the Cobra has come out on top. For that reason, I'm going to put it as the best value for money out of these 3 clubs. Then going on to the TaylorMade and Callaway 3-woods, both of them have scored equally so far in the rankings. However, the Paradigm AI Smoke 3-wood comes in at £70 more expensive than the QI10, which has an RRP of £309. Now, something that you do have to bear in mind with that is that the Callaway 3-wood is adjustable, which obviously adds a little bit more value, which we do not have in the QI10. However, you could get that adjustability in a QI10 if you went for the Tour model, which is more expensive than this QI10. So with that in mind, I'm probably going to put those as equal value for money, because in my opinion, that added adjustability justifies the £70 price increase from the QI10. On that note, obviously I've been really impressed with the Cobra Dark Speed X, but we've also got an adjustable hosel in this club, which coming in as the cheapest club definitely gives even more reason to put this as the highest value for money. So now that we've got the final rankings, let's have a look at each one of these and just talk through a little conclusion on who these clubs might be best for. So starting off with the Callaway Paradigm AI Smoke. If you're somebody who's looking for loads of forgiveness as the main point in their fairway woods, this could be a great option for you. If you're the type of person that likes to spend a little bit more money on their golf equipment and you're not necessarily needing the extra help in terms of distance, this could be a great option for you to try out. Going on second place with the TaylorMade QI10. Now, if you're somebody who wants a slightly bigger club head, say compared to the Cobra Dark Speed, and you're looking for something that is forgiving and has a good amount of distance behind it, this could be a great option for you. Obviously as well, if you're not looking for that adjustability and something at a slightly lower price point, that is where the QI10 comes in. And finally then, coming on to my overall winner, the Cobra Dark Speed X. I think this is a great fairway wood if you're looking for something that is really easy to control out on the golf course, but is still going to give you some really impressive speeds and distances. In terms of the cost, I'm really impressed that Cobra have been able to put out a fairway wood that is £100 cheaper than the Callaway fairway woods and still performs so well. Obviously for me, I've said from the start, I really love the look of the entire Dark Speed range. Like I said earlier, it is that little bit smaller, and for me, I was stood over it not feeling super confident initially because it is a bit smaller, but as soon as I got into hitting it, I absolutely loved this club. So that's been my review on these fairway woods. I hope that's helped you guys if you're looking to get a new fairway wood this year. If you are, leave a comment down below and let us know if you're going to look to test any of these out. As always, you can check out my full written review on each of these fairway woods over on the Golfalot website. Thank you guys for watching and subscribe for more.